The number one traded ticker today, according to Fidelity, was MLGO with 185 million shares traded. We ended the day at $12.01, up a whopping 669%. Congratulations if you've made some money off of this ticker. That is why I want to take a look at it today. Now, we ended the day here near resistance and a potential take profit area, or at least one of them, at roughly 13.14. Above that, at 2 standard deviations, takes us to roughly 15.48, and at 4 standard deviations, roughly $17.91. Now, to the south side, VWAP takes us back down to 908, this line right here. And below that, roughly 843. And then the lower channel of VWAP right there at 718. And should we go to this level, that would take us to roughly $3.51. The RSI is not quite extended yet, but getting dangerously close. So taking a look left, note the crack in this area. It starts to fall down. You cannot expect price to continue to run without consolidating, basing, barcoding. And I use this as support and resistance. And if that's the case, this is clearly resistance. And I know this is going to crack to the south side, and it did, and then found its footing, started to make its way up, grinding sideways, and now we're attempting to go back up again. So again, congratulations if you've made some money off of that ticker. The next one I want to go over is CrowdStrike. Thank you to Trader Murat for pointing this out. He says that the next gap to watch out for is in the 264 range. We had earnings today. He alerted me to this earlier in the morning. I never even really got a chance to look at it. The daily RSI is at 40. Of course, that moves, so I'll take a look at it now that it's at the end of the day. But when he alerted me to this, now the 4-hour was at 30 as well. So right now, I'm on the 5-minute time frame, so I'm going to give you some price targets first. Oops. Let me move this out of the way. To the north side from where we are takes us to VWAP at 307.03. Above that, resistance, 309.41, 313.18, and 316.99. To the south side, back at the middle of the trend and the baseline, and support from where we are, 302. I anticipate we grind our way down here until we find a spot where we start to go sideways. But right now we are still in a downward channel, unfortunately. Now to the south side of that, 294.49, 290.71, and 286.99. Oops. So the company reported 921 million. And word on the street, the estimate was at 904. So they beat that, which is great, but obviously that didn't reflect in the price. Usually what happens during earnings is the opposite. You think it's going to run because we had good news, but oh no, it tanks because people are taking their profits and they're running. Now, if you're playing VWAP, this again is the middle, this is the upper channel, and this is the base. So most people then would potentially buy in and then, or wait to hear and then the break of this and go up. So this is support here. So this is the linear, the standard deviations, which I like to play. And that means I'm in a trade much longer. If you turn on the bot, you'll see that you'll get buy and sell signals, and they come much more rapidly to get in and get out. But I don't do it that way. But I do like to sometimes just turn on the bot just to see what the bot says. But I know what the bot's going to say because you this is support, the bot's going to turn on for a buy. So it depends on what your risk tolerance is that you'll be getting in and out of these trades, or how quickly you want to stay in. Now looking left, note the sell-off here at resistance, and here as well, the clear buy signal here, running up to resistance, busting through the middle of the trend, hitting this, and then falling back down. The RSI turning down as well. Now let's take a look at the RSI on the daily and the 4 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. So we were at 30 when he alerted me to this, roughly 30. So that's still looking good on the 4 hour, because this is where I like to also buy in at the low end of the RSI, 40 and below, because sometimes it doesn't ever get to this level. And you have to decide if you want in. And on the daily, still falling down. So I like it, and it's more attractive to me in this area. This shows me this is still going down with room to continue to go down without reversing course. And on the weekly, plenty of room, and plenty of room to turn back up again. And on the monthly, we did crack. This is where I like to troll for longer term investments. We cracked here, down, and here we are. Obviously we're going to crack, and we're still going down. And when this purple line meets this line, then I might think that there might be a sort of a turnaround, but this has not touched yet. So I'm going to say that on the monthly, we've still got room to go to the downside, and the gap proves that. So now let me go back to the 5 minute and show you the gap that Murat was talking about. Oops. See how wonky that gets? Your price charts change depending upon what time frame you move this to, and then everything gets wonky. So let me move this and then correct it. All right, so the last time I looked at it, Murat also alerted me to this at 298. So this is on the 15-minute time frame. Let me just go to the 1 hour so you can see it just a little bit better. Note the sell-off here at resistance. All right, so he alerted me to this at 298 back on, oops, right there, April 26th. So from where we were right here, but obviously you could get it better here. We were here. Let me turn off my magnet. Makes my chart look wonky. All right, so from here to here, that's resistance. I expect a sell-off. No matter what time frame you play in, you're going to get different buy and sell signals. You'll stay in longer on the bigger time frame, but on the bigger time frame, so we made it to about there, a 5-ish% return. And then obviously falling down at support. But from here, if you play the longer game to here, that is roughly a 20% gain from the low here. So congrats, but look at this. On the hour, we're at support. I will anticipate a bounce, but it's not going to come easy. You're going to be all over the place. Now let's take a look at the gap to 264. So that takes us, these lines are my former support and resistance lines. So ignore that. We've busted through them. But 264 takes us down here. And what have I got marked out? All right, so I looked at this also on December 29th of 23. And then here as well, I will move this out of the way. Obviously, I have not cleaned up my chart all the way from here. Oh, I never deleted it. So that is obviously no longer a threat. We touched right there, so let me delete that. Other threats are imminent, just not that one. And then this is the gap he's talking about that I have also been tracking. All right, so that takes me, He said 264. Let me change that. I like to color code my gaps. To the downside is red, to the upside is red is to the downside, green is to the upside. That way when I look at things on the bigger chart, I'm not micro looking at this intensely. I just know that that's a gap to the south side and to anticipate that. So that's the gap Murat is talking about. And then this gap that I have been tracking, well, apparently I tracked it here as well, but this gap to the south side finally touched. Again, this is on the hourly. We touched right there. So note, we touched, fell down some more, closer to this area of support, and then a bounce. No longer a threat to our account to the south side. Plenty of other threats, but that is not one of them. Now the price target. Oh, I marked out the price target. Let me flip this back now to the 5-minute. Option R if you're on a Mac. Oh, Command Z to reset. I don't know what the heck I just did. I saw some weird movement. All right. Oh, price target. That's what I was going to look at. So I looked at this on June 4th, it looks like. Is that? Oh, no, that is June 4th today. I previously looked at the price target. That way I know where I'm going. Where am I heading? What is the long-term forecast here? So we were on April 26th, 398 was the target, and now it's $400. Unfortunately, when TradingView tells you the 1-year price target, well, what is the starting point? I have no idea. But they said 400. But from here to here, this thing is going to whip you all over the place, especially with gaps to the downside as well. But consider those gaps an opportunity to go north or an opportunity if you like to go short. But from where we are, that is a 30, I wish 300, a 30.99% return from where we are. Let me, why did I get 63? 99, got confused for a second. There we go. All right, so that is a look at crowd. And the next one I want to go over is I like to always check the top stock that I have put into a watch list here of Vanguard's tickers within the total stock market. I only have about 230 or 250 in here, so not complete. But the top one right now is T-Mobile. We ended the day at 177.91, up 2.79%. The 52-week low, 126.05, and 178.85 was the high. So this is where we ended. To the north side takes us to 180.51, 181.93, and 183.57. VWAP is at 176.85. If we get to there, I'll anticipate a bounce off of that. 174.14, 172.56, and 170.98. Note the clear buy here at support, a run up to resistance, and then we cracked, and then grinding along the middle of the trend. Wherever that middle of the trend is, whether it's going here, you can expect price to grind along there most likely before it makes its way to the upside or the south side. And obviously if this line is going down, then it would grind along the green line heading south. But right now we are in an upward channel on the 5-minute time frame. Now if you want to, you can just mark that out. When I look at that just shows me that price will either grind along here or make its way here. That's what I'm going to be anticipating. Sell off at resistance and then up here as well. So now I want to take a look at the worst performing one in the 200 plus tickers I'm tracking, FCX. Oh, wait a minute. One other thing before I move on, because I won't go back to it because this ticker doesn't really interest me too much. Oh, that's not look. I'm going to put it on the daily so you can see that better. All right. So on the daily, a bounce at support, 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 and then sell off close to resistance. And then now from up here going down, this turns into support and we are grinding along support. All right. And the last time I took a look at this was at 135.34. And what does that give you? Well, obviously that would have been the better buy-in, but because I peeked at it on this day for whatever reason, I'll just do it right here. And where are we? 177.91-ish. There. So that's a return of 31%. So congratulations if you made some money off of T-Mobile. Typically when you play the longer game, you're going to make more money, just like in real estate. I make more money buying and holding than selling or flipping. All right, FCX now. Well, since I'm on, oops, what the heck was that? Oh, that's my Fibonacci. Okay, while I'm here on the daily, bounce here at support, sell off at resistance. I've tracked this, as you can see, quite a few times, and looks like maybe the highest point was 44.48 on March 18th. All right, let's flip this and then bounce off support there. Let's go to the 5-minute. Stay on option R. All right, we ended the day at 49.70, down 4.5% to the north side. 51.29, 52.19, and another level of resistance, which I do not anticipate we get here from being at the middle of the trend. This thing doesn't move that much. 53.05, but if it does get here, congrats, you will want to get out if you're just getting in and getting out, because it will crack after that. Now we're at the middle of the trend. VWAP takes us down to, which line is it? 49.32. And another level of support there, but the one I'm going to give you, 47.82 and 46.92, 46.07. Bounce at support, and this is resistance. I think we're going to grind along that line, and just for giggles, I will mark the middle of the trend right about there. So we will either go this way or attempt to grind along this way. All right, that is a look at MLGO, crowd. Again, thank you to Murat for pointing that out for me. T-Mobile, TMUS, FCX. Oh, I want to show you Bitcoin very quickly. BTCUSD. Okay, Bitcoin. I'm going to flip this on the... Okay, well, I'm on the daily. This is a moving target, so it is not going to be correct or accurate the minute I put the price line on here, because it's going to change. But just for giggles, to the north side is going to take us to 71.669 and 69.999. So that is the range for Bitcoin on the 5. I think my dad is in this one. He is all about the altcoins. So congrats if you've made some money off of that. So I hope you have a fantastic trading day.